Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan. Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody, to the Detroit Cast, powered by DealsInTheD.com. Mike and Jay. Shalom, Big E. Hello, Jay.
Hi, Mike.
How are you?
Listeners out there, you are blessed to have Miguel with you today because he was in the hurt box earlier.
Yeah, it was.
Barfing out of both ends.
I did. I was shitting and puking. It was not good. One of those. You ever you know that feeling when you're about to puke, where you get that
of course, that bile.
It's almost like sweat coming up, and it's like, what? Am I gonna puke?
It's the worst.
I was on the toilet when that happened, and it was like,
just jump up to the sink.
dude, I got as close as I could get to cleaned up, flushed the toilet, and turned around and barfed, and then I didn't know what
into
to
your
do.
poop pile?
Well, no, I'd flushed it.
Splashback.
No, I'd flushed it. I'd cleaned everything out, and then I turned around and went back to sitting, and this went on a couple times, and I texted you guys like, look, man, I don't know if
we had fair warning.
you guys want to deal with this, but you know what the thing was?
That's how committed we are, though.
Absolutely, and I expected that. I expected you guys would do that. I said, look, I feel okay. I feel like I can do a show. If you guys don't want to come over here, I understand. But if you do, let's do it.
I'm guessing from the manner in which you've rallied that this is more of a McMuffin issue. You probably got a bad McMuffin or something
I don't
like that,
know.
rather than the flu.
Well, here's the thing. I had two different things than normal yesterday. One, sweet pie.
Don't.
Sweet pie.
Mm-mm.
Tiny girl. TG brought me a little package of nuts and chocolates and all
She's
this,
my
and
peanut brittle.
I literally ate almost the whole bag.
Yeah, that's
90% of the bag.
Shouldn't do that.
And so I was like, is it possible?
It's probably like a pound and a half of nuts and chocolates and
You really ate that
cranberries,
much?
You know.
I ate a lot of it.
Wow.
Yeah, I was
It's
hungry.
like this holiday mix. Everybody can picture
Yeah,
what
it's
it
like
is.
trail
Dude,
mix.
you literally ate a pound and a half of that.
Yeah, a lot of it. Yeah, I didn't finish it, but I ate a lot of it. So I did that, and then I was like, well, is it possible she's so diabolical that she would think like ahead and be like, okay, I'm gonna semi-poison this so that Dad has to stay home today and I get to play with Dad.
You do realize that Tiny Girl goes to school?
Oh shit, I didn't think about that.
It foils that theory.
Okay, that theory's out the window. The other thing that I did, you remember when I was on a real baking kick? I was kind of a professional confectioner.
Yeah, you
for
baked some cookies one time.
Yeah. Well, I had to buy eggs for that. I didn't know if you knew that, but part of baking, it requires eggs. You got to break them, put them in, and the whole thing. And so I had these eggs, and so yesterday I was like, I'm going to make myself some eggs for breakfast. And so I scrambled eggs and had toast and
You thought they were bad eggs? Maybe old eggs?
No, I think they were fine, but those are the only things. Like you point to the McMuffin
See, I think
problem.
I think what you could be dealing with also here, then, when you say he made his own eggs, is like when people don't eat real food for large amounts of time, and it all
system
it's
is
like
going,
if
what
someone
the fuck
doesn't
is
eat
this?
meat, right?
Reject it.
Right.
Yeah.
This isn't fast food. This isn't.
You got a point there. Real eggs, Mike.
I suppose anything's possible. I don't know, but
well, we're glad you could join us.
had I been feeling like flu symptoms or like strep throat or something, I would have told you guys just to stay home. But I wasn't, so I was like, if you guys want to risk it, it's on you.
You seem fine to me.
Yeah, I feel better. I honestly do, and I haven't felt since that episode this morning. I haven't felt like throwing up. So whatever it was, I got it out of my
If you need
system.
to during the show, turn to your left, please. Just let it fly.
Yeah, I would. Obviously, I
Your
would.
butt
I would
or
do
your
that.
I
mouth,
would
either
warn against that unless it's far left. There is a lot of stuff over here.
But
that
I
we
would
use,
aim.
like-
I would aim west and south.
Okay.
And so really, I'd be
Fine.
aiming for like ear
Or
and
that
shoulder.
that highlighter yellow sweatshirt.
Yeah,
he
it's
has
hard to
on.
look
Yeah.
at, but it's something that it's recognized. I'll find it easily.
Yeah, you
So-
looked good at the beginning of the show. You were air guitaring. If anybody, a lot of people don't realize that we're on YouTube. You can watch the show on YouTube. Jump on. One of the great things about it is you'll see Mike air guitaring to the intro every day, which is
Dude, I air
sweet.
drum a lot. I air guitar a lot. I'm known to air violin.
Oh,
I've
violin.
air violin from time to time. I can air piano.
Did you ever
with
Kenny
the best
G
of
it?
them.
Kenny G's.
I would. I wouldn't be opposed, but I've never. There's not a Kenny G song out there that I like. I don't know that I could pull it off and look good. Like I can air guitar and look like I'm rocking.
It's like the steel clarinet thing, right?
Fine. I was thinking of Jethro Tull.
Dude, what are you holding right
My
now?
flute.
That
I'm
is
Jethro
not how you
Tull.
hold a flute.
Fuck you. It's
Turn
not.
your hand around.
What?
You've got two. You've got
No,
palms.
dude.
You're insane.
You're insane. You flute solo like this.
You've got your front hand facing you. Your second hand, your right hand is facing out.
Give me a.
That's weird, man. That you would even do that. That might be how you skin flute it. But Mike, this is how you actually.
I think
flute
you're
it.
right. Shit. You know what? I just held a golf club like this, didn't I? Instead of doing the pinkies.
Basically.
Yeah. Oh man, I feel like a dickhead now because I think you're right. I have known from time to time. I've been known to sax it. I can air sax, and I'll use my thumb as the what do they call that part? The
mouthpiece.
The
reed.
The reed. I'll use my thumb as a reed. If I'm listening to like some old Springsteen or something, and
I have to
really
say
want to
that
get
the
into
air
Clarence.
guitar though is most inspiring. I think.
Yeah, but I'll bend notes. I'll whammy bar. Like I'll go all in on the guitar. I've gotten good at the air guitar. I will admit. Anyways, we're off into Never Neverland at this
Before
point.
we get too far,
Yeah.
Mike, check out the Detroit Cast listeners business page, everybody. It's a
Sure.
page under the Help the Show tab on our website, DetroitCast.com. The page includes businesses owned by listeners. Take a look. It'd be great to support supporters of the show. And this week's featured businesses I would read off to you, but I don't have internet access right now because our computer systems are fucked.
Yeah, we've got someone coming to tackle that in 2 days on Wednesday. Coming
Perfect time.
ID some things that are going on around here because there's some issues. So you're kind of stuck for
Okay.
a day or two. Why?
No, that's fine. No,
What?
2 days without computer systems.
Dude,
that's-
Wednesday. It's the best I can do.
Okay.
It's the best I can do.
Got it.
For a cost of nothing. So
we wanted to pay for
Pay
something.
someone,
Maybe
yeah,
we'd-
fix it.
We don't want to do that.
lickety split.
Hey, insurance, we all need it. Most of us don't know what kind of coverage we have or who provides it. Let fellow TDC listener Brent Wasick from Wasick Insurance Services change all that. Brent has over 29 years in the business. He offers all types of insurance coverage, auto, home, health, life, business, commercial, and more. So call Brent Wasick at 734-455-1900. Get a free no-obligation quote today. Again, that's 734-455-1900.
Hey, I wanted to let you guys know. I talked to Rude Jude this morning and did the final confirmation. He will be here tomorrow. How cool is that, man? In Michigan for a few days visiting
That's
his
great.
mom. And
Looking
he's
forward
gonna-
to it.
Yeah, me too. I did want to mention a couple days in advance while we've got a little window that he's doing a book signing. And I know he's done, I think he did one in L.A., he's done some in New York, and they've gone really well. And so if you're interested in getting a book signed, he's got a vinyl too of Hummingbird. It's a great book, great gift idea, easy, great read. It's going to be Tuesday, the same day he'll be here tomorrow, from 7 to 9 at Barnes & Noble in Rochester Hills on South Rochester Road. So
Even if the gift recipient is not a big reader, this is a good, easy read.
it sure is. It sure is.
Raw and easy.
Well, you guys mentioned, I think that either in the interview, I remember him saying it or you guys saying it.
It's a gateway book.
Right, and I had
Yeah.
somebody hit me up on Snapchat who's like, dude, I haven't read a book in 5 years. After we did that interview, and he showed a picture of the book and said he was reading it. So
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he said that. He's like, I've always been really self-conscious, and I think a lot of us that didn't go to college feel this way, like, oh, man, I'm just dumb. I'm not as smart as everybody that went to college. And so he's kind of intimidated by books and big words, and he's like, I didn't want people reading this book to feel like that, so I made it an easy read,
Right.
and he's a good writer. So anyway, we'll look forward to him coming in tomorrow. A lot going on in the news. We'll get to that, but we haven't done grievances in a while.
Oh, start
And,
the clock. E, ready?
E, do you not
You
have
don't
a
have a
grievance
grievance?
Why don't you guys use yours, and while I'm listening intently to yours, I'll think if I can have a grievance.
Well,
This is going to be a home run grievance from Big E.
We haven't done grievances in a while, at least not regularly, and I know we have a lot of new listeners. So I want to read the rules of airing of grievances. So
I love
they're clear.
that. I love that listeners are sending in their grievances
Yeah.
too, and we're putting them to the clock. That's great. I do like that a lot.
The rules of the airing of grievances are simple. The purported aggrieved individual shall have 30 seconds in which to state his alleged grievance. At the conclusion of said time period, the remaining members of the Detroit Cast shall pass judgment. The grievance shall be judged to have asserted a bona fide grievance, that's the aim, or is simply being a pussy and or an old man.
Yeah.
We also have stolen grievance, but we hope none of us would go toward
Yeah.
the stolen, and that would relate to something that's already been used as a grievance.
Yeah.
We'd hope everybody would be above board and not go there, E.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, a couple, we don't need to name names and shame people, but some people in the room have gone there and stolen some grievances. But
We've also had the unfortunate situation of having to judge a grievance as uninformed, where it's just off the wall stupid and not a grievance. And we
Yeah.
hope that doesn't happen either.
Exactly.
We hope that an actual grievance is found, you gentlemen, and that you have one to assert.
well,
Are you ready?
hold on. Before we get started, I wanted to ask you, Jay, because you always say that hey, man, the grievance finds you. You don't go searching for a grievance.
It's the case.
I was just wondering what is your process like? Because this is really your bit. You're the one that came up with the grievances. Is it something that you go, ugh, fuck, I don't like that? Like, is it something that hits you in your day-to-day world that you go, I don't like that? Is it an irritant? Is it a real problem? Is it a
All of the above, man.
combination?
Yeah, it could be any of the above. I mean, one hit me today as I was doing a chore. And it's not, it's not groundbreaking. It's nothing real serious, but it was an observation that I felt like,
Yeah.
you know what, this is probably fairly universal.
Well, before we get to mine, I just want to say it found me. I'm not really hot on this grievance
here we go.
Have you
personally.
had one that you've ever been
And
hot on?
this is my time. It's my grievance.
Well, let me
Please.
ask you,
Please, E.
have you ever had a
Aren't
grievance?
you supposed to be thinking about your
I
grievance?
got one, actually.
He's
already.
lacking in confidence.
Well, I just, I know it's going to be offensive to some, and I don't mean that. And as you always
Not
say,
racist,
Jay,
but
it's one of those grievances that found me. I found myself just going, ugh, this again. And so I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to bring it to the grievance table. I know I'm going to take some shit for it. I'm probably going to be deemed a pussy and an old man, and that's okay. That's okay.
Okay,
It
with
found
that
me.
said, Mike does his little spiel. I have the rules. Mike has his sandbagging, and we go. Grievance clock.
All right. And again, I stress that I don't mean to offend people at
Clock's on.
all with this. At all. Okay, the military member who comes home and surprises his young children at the center court of a basketball game or at the pitcher's mound of a baseball game or 50-yard line of a football game. Have we done this enough yet? Can we stop doing this now?
Is it like
Please?
the retarded kid running for
Yes.
a touchdown?
Yeah.
All right. That's good enough.
Is it played out?
I already have my verdict.
What's your verdict, E?
Bona fide.
Hey, that's the first time he's given me a bona fide in a
Dude,
year at
I
least.
get it. I think everyone in this
But-
room respects military soldiers, what they do for
Course.
this country, the fact that we couldn't be here doing even a show like we do without the people out there protecting this country. But I get it, dude. Can't you just can it just be about you and your family in your own home in your own little way?
I have a fundamental problem with the presentation of the grievance.
Oh, no.
It wasn't presented as really a grievance at all. It was just an observation
Yeah,
of
that's
something
true.
that's
I'll give
happening.
you
What
that.
is? Go ahead and I'll let you do an addendum, a quick addendum.
okay,
10
well-
seconds. What's the problem with it?
I'm tired of seeing it on my TV.
Gotcha.
I'm
Okay.
tired of being forced to go, oh, that's wonderful. It's becoming, okay, I'll tell you what it is, Jay. It's becoming the water skiing squirrel to me. It's one of those things where local morning news loves that feel-good story, and they love to put the fucking soft music underneath it, and they're looking for that tear-jerker, go-viral moment, and so they use military guy who comes home, he's got his bag. The kids think they're doing, the ice bucket challenge at center court.
Yeah.
And then they come out blindfolded, and then dad's there, and of course, little girl, little boy burst into tears, jump into daddy's arms.
Right on cue.
Right on cue. And
So,
it's,
yeah, you
and
know,
then
the-
everybody back in the studio has to go, oh my God, it's just, oh,
The
it's
kids
just so
think they're meeting
heartwarming.
Black Santa at center court,
Yeah,
but in
yeah.
fact, it's their dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
In that instance, a black guy.
I'm not saying I don't want the kids to see their dad. I do. Just like he said, do it at the home. It's a great moment for you and the family. What are you sharing it with 20,000 people for?
Yeah, I guess this one hasn't bothered me.
You don't
I
watch
definitely,
TV, though.
Yeah.
It's funny. Since he said it, I realize how much it's bothered me. No, you're right, dude. I see.
It's just been boiling
I
underneath.
just hate the fake as if other people care that much. Yes, I believe these kids have that emotion to their dad. Yes, I
course
think
they
it's
do.
an awesome thing. Can't you just do it at home?
Do you think it is at all having a negative effect? In other words, undercutting the impact of what our military men and women do? Is it something that's like starting to
Well-
grind on you so much that you're like, God damn, I don't want to resent this.
No,
but I find myself resenting this, and I shouldn't, because as you guys started
Well-
out with, these are very honorable men who
And
are
I have to
course
say,
they
coming
are.
back.
I
Of course
love
they
it
are.
at Joe Louis and now Little Caesars. I love their tradition of every game. They have 4 or 5 servicemen, I believe, during some period.
Yeah, you want to
they announce
acknowledge them?
They
Yeah.
play the song. What is it? God bless, not God bless America.
Oh, you got this.
What is it? Lee Greenwood.
Yeah.
What is it?
To be an
Yeah.
American, at least I know I'm free. And when we stand up.
We really need to learn the lyrics to that song.
I love that. No,
Proud
I
to be
love
an
that they
American.
do that at the little. I'm glad they kept it going at Little Caesars. They do it at the Lions games. That is cool to me. But the kid thing is on the news is overplayed.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a bona fide.
Thank you.
In respect to the news coverage or the coverage back in the studio.
Yeah.
because you can't deny that would be thrilling as a kid. I mean that's awesome, and I guess I don't have a problem with them providing these opportunities for these guys to do, or women, whatever, to do this for kids. But then have to every time hear the studio
I don't know.
aghast about how great it is.
I guess I have a problem with a lot of the first time we took a kid that can barely walk and handed him the football and made him score a touchdown, quote unquote, without just having a linebacker come up and decapitate him.
Yeah, or we got a kid with Mongolism turning the corner, running like a 9.2 40.
Yeah, 9-2 is generous
on a bike.
Yeah. And you see that touchdown scored, it's like, that's awesome. It almost your lip starts quivering. It's like, that's a great moment. And I don't want to be that old man dick, because you know what? Every kid should have that moment, I suppose, where it's like, you know what? He deserves every bit to feel that like he's part of the team,
Right.
and I don't have a problem with that. It's the let's put it to music and put it all over the news so we can all
Just do what's right
go,
because it's what's right.
Yeah,
How about that?
That's
not-
it right there, because then they're making it part of their show and their presentation.
Right.
And look at us, we're presenting you with this
Yes.
great moment. No, dude,
Yeah. Let the school
Bona
have that
fide.
moment.
Bona fide.
That's fine. But do we really need the local news to cover it and then get all sappy about it afterwards? It's bullshit.
Yeah.
And I don't want to water those things down. But yeah, I really was worried. Fuck, military guys are gonna be like, fuck you, man. That's a really honorable moment and special moment. And I don't want to offend them. I don't mean that at all. It's probably more with the media coverage than anything. But I hate that this is what they tend to do. Is something worked? What that worked? Okay,
Yeah.
let's do it 1,000 times and burn it out.
There you go.
And so you can't watch Sports Center or a pregame show now without having 3 stories stuffed in there about some guy that got sick in the middle of the season and now has worked his way back, and it's this big tearjerker moment. We need to interview his fucking junior high coach and his high school coach, and
Yeah,
I
because it
don't
worked
know.
once. It worked during the 1984 Olympics with Mary Lou Retton.
Right,
so
right,
Now we have to
right,
hear all
right.
this shit.
Yes.
Isis, are you ready to grieve?
Sure.
Here
all
we
right,
go.
Jesus, come on.
Here's the deal. I went to a concert this week. I parked somewhere because I hate to pay for parking, but then I was taking someone home who did not want to walk the half a mile. And these people, these Uber drivers, they'll fuck you over. These fake Uber drivers will come up and be like, oh, you want Uber? Yeah. Oh, I'll take you for $20. And I'm like, because they're doing it off the clock. They're being assholes and they're doing it off the clock. And dude, I know it's ridiculous to say I'm sick of people being assholes, but I'm sick of people being assholes and taking advantage of people that just couldn't just do it fairly. I don't know.
Why do they have to subscribe to some sort of set of rules that Uber provides them? In other words, isn't this a free market where if somebody wants a ride and
Well, you know what? I should. Whatever. You can.
are they robbing you? I mean,
Let me say this. And
Are they raping your butt as they take you
say that
somewhere?
this isn't part of the. If you want this not to be a part of the 30 second, that's fine. But
He
the
didn't
problem
grant
is,
you an addendum.
I did not grant an addendum.
Well, Mike got one. So
Well, he earned one.
fine. Here's the problem. I'll just say this. Here's the problem. Most of them won't, unless you realize that that's what's about to happen. They won't tell you. They'll say, "Oh, you wanted an Uber? Yeah. You know what? I can just do
okay.
it for right now." And then you'll get there and all of a sudden, that's $20. When the Uber ride would have been $8. So I know.
Oh,
it's happened,
that's bullshit.
It's happened
Okay.
to me enough times
Well,
now
is it-
that I know that they do that.
Isn't it incumbent on you though to look for the little Uber sticker in the window? Aren't
No,
they? all
they're
supposed to have
probably really Uber drivers. They sometimes they even have that. They'll do it. This is a Vegas thing they do all the time in Vegas, by the way.
Yeah.
Vegas cab drivers will ask you, where do you want to go? You'll say, oh, I'm going here. They're like, just get in, $20.
Well, I would demand their Uber number and I would report them.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
Fair.
Maybe I will do that next time.
Now, do they
but-
say I'll take you for $20 right away,
Yeah,
or do
is
they
it
No,
just
they,
right?
get
they
there?
don't. No, they don't usually. It happened to
that's
me this.
bullshit.
It
So
happened to me
you're
this-
held
okay.
hostage.
It happened
Yeah.
to me this Saturday, but I knew. I said, well, wait a minute, how much are you going to charge me? And he goes, 20. I go, no, we're good. We're waiting for our Uber.
But wouldn't you? I would think if you know, like the airport to my house usually costs me $8 on Uber, and then you get home from that ride and he says $20, wouldn't you just go, bullshit, dude. I've done this route 10 times for $8. You're not ripping me off like that.
I don't know.
And then
But you're talking to someone who hates conflict, who's afraid of everyone.
Well,
Right,
most people
right.
aren't gonna. I don't think. I also believe that most people in that situation, I don't know. Maybe they don't know what to. I don't know.
This is what
dude.
I thought you were presenting. I thought people were realizing that there were guys waiting in an obvious manner for an Uber or taxi or whatever it be, and they just pull up like not an Uber driver, going, "Dude, I'll take you there for $20."
Yeah.
Is
No,
that
no, no.
happening?
That's
All
not
right.
what happens.
and I
with
was
those-
thinking, what's the problem with that?
Yeah.
If that guy wants to swoop in, and
No.
I agree that $20 seems fair.
All right, so these are actual Uber drivers.
Right. If you're right. If you know to ask a guy like I did this time, I said, "Well, how much are you going to charge me?" And he said 20. I'm like, "No, we're not paying 20 to go
If
0.5 miles."
If you see something, say something. I think these people need to be reported.
Isn't this an old
gonna-
trick, though? Cabbies have done this forever.
Right.
I remember cabbies, like, getting a ride from, say, Joe Louis back to Riley's bar.
And here they are,
And
like, you know,
stuck in traffic. And
Yeah, and then they're headed to Jackson.
I know. You know what? I get it. You know,
Like,
I just,
sir.
I've had them, though, go, you know what, dude, $10, I'll take you over there. We're going to be stuck in traffic for a while. And they just shut the meter off. And it's like, fair enough. Yeah. it's
I will
fine.
say, I had this one time. I was in Dallas to see a concert with my buddy, and we were really drunk. And we got in this cab, and I had a hotel, and I knew that we were going to be drunk. So I very specifically like took my hotel, card. So I had the address. I knew I wouldn't remember where I was, and we got it. I gave him the card, and we were really drunk, and I think we like kind of passed out in reality in the cab. And at one point I wake up and we're driving around a neighborhood, and I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, where are we right now? And he's like,
Just driving.
blah, blah. He's just trying to make up some fucking thing. And I'm like, are we getting charged for this, dude? I told you exactly, like, you have GPS, and I gave you a business card of where the hotel was, and I don't think I paid. We got to the hotel, and
Yeah, it
I
just
think I
jumped
did. I said, fuck you, man.
Good job.
Well,
Although I think I left my cell phone. I lost my cell phone that trip, and I think I lost it in that cab. So I didn't have a cell phone the rest of the. And I couldn't call the cab company because I gypped them on the money. So.
Well, just get a new phone, I guess.
But I know I
Uber,
told
the
him to
Uber
fuck
thing
off.
is weird. I took a Uber from Beth, and I took one from one of our Hamlin gigs, like one of the early ones at 25 in Van Dyke. And it was like, yeah, we should probably just get an Uber. And so I ordered a big pizza. Remember that night? And I took it
I
out
remember.
into the Uber. And I had this. I had no
yeah,
idea how
yeah.
big the pizzas were. And it was huge. And so I'm just sitting back there, and the driver was like, "Oh man, I got a hard and fast rule: no one eats in my car." I was like, "Dog, I'm eating in the car. I'm sorry. I will hook you up. You're not supposed to tip." But he's like, "Oh man, it's got to be a good ass tip, man. If I let you eat in my car." And he literally bitched about it the whole way home. Like, man, this is just so
Is that all?
against my.
Is that
my
all that
thing."
happened?
Yeah, and then somebody, I can't remember if it was me or Beth cracked a window at some point to get some air, and maybe got a little bit ill. Hey, I had my episode this morning. I get it. I get how that is, and maybe puked a little bit out the window, and so we got there, and if that happens in a cab, it's like, well, peace out, Holmes, and you
I
leave.
know, you're
You know
right.
what I mean? It's like,
You're
here's
right.
the $20. Thanks for the ride. I'm out of here. Your car stinks now.
Doesn't Uber have a standard
Yeah, it's
dollar
like
amount for that?
150,
Dude,
or some
if you
300
If you
or
expel
something,
any
or-
sort of liquid in the car?
Yeah.
Dude, I got home. I had
Bodily fluid.
I've never known about this. It might have been my first Uber, and so I get home and it's like, oh, that ride was $20. That's reasonable. Why is it charging me $170?
Shit.
And it was like, dude, they literally charged $150. This guy probably could have wiped it off with a napkin. It was on the outside of the car, not the inside. And it's like, are you shitting me? Come on.
Can you blame him though, dude?
napkin?
If
I
you
don't know.
No, I mean, I
about
guess why wouldn't they rape you if they get the opportunity? But it just was like, you know what? This is why you take a cab, because you could puke on the cabbie's floor.
Yeah, but you know, that
then
cab
just-
ride that you took that was 20 would have been probably like 70 in a
Which-
cab.
Way better than 150 though.
But that's only okay. Well,
if I know I'm going to puke in the future, I'm taking a fucking
fine.
cab.
If you're doing it because
You can expel bodily fluids.
okay, well, you're right. And that if you're
With
doing
no
it
additional
soberly
charge.
and you're fine, you should have taken. That's why you take an Uber.
Yeah.
The other thing was, it was so incognito that he didn't even realize it had happened. Like, she was so
So
good
would you
about just
point
like,
and laugh? Ha! You
No.
barfed!
I didn't. I was buried in a pizza, dude. You got to understand. I mean, the box was open. I was really dialed into the pizza.
So
I
how
was
do you
eating.
know?
He got out probably at the end of his shift and went,
Shit.
"Motherfucker, look at this shit on the outside of my car.
By
This
the
What
way-
is
was it? What did
bullshit."
she eat?
I don't know.
Anything red?
I don't know. No, I don't know.
By the-
I didn't see it, but
By the way, you claimed, since I get railed on for this, you claimed that you were going to hook him up based on the fact that he had a pizza. How did
I
you?
did.
How much?
I probably
question.
gave him at least a 20 on
Dude,
a
Mike-
$10 ride.
Mike tips
I
very well,
over tip.
I
do.
know, but
I've looked at some receipts he's given me and gone, motherfucker, man. You're tipping like 70%.
No, that's not. That's not.
He's very generous.
Yeah, I am. I don't know, dude. I just don't want people to be able to like, oh yeah, I remember the Detroit cast. Fuck those guys.
That's a good practice for sure.
So, Jay,
my grievance is as follows. It's basically with nature/God. It's obviously there's no solution to this, but my grievance is slush. With the higher temperatures today, we've now resulted. All that snow has resulted in a pile of slush, which is heavy. It's dirty. It's gross. This is what everybody hates about winter, right? When it's ugly, it gets ugly like this. It gets dark and foggy, and the slush is gross. And dude, other than inspiring the good people at 7-Eleven to create a delicious drink, what good is slush?
Interesting. I don't know what. Because it's with God, this is a new territory for us. We've never had someone take
like a head-on
issue
challenge with God.
With God or nature. And I'm not, I mean, yes, this is a nuisance to all of us. If there was something we could possibly do.
Therefore, it's bona fide.
I would grant this bona fide in an instant, but it seems like a category we don't have.
Is there supposed to be a solution for every grievance? I didn't know that. A grievance has found me while shoveling slush today. Therefore, I expressed it.
But that's like taking issue with Mother Nature because grass continues to grow, and I don't like mowing it.
That. Oh, dude, that's a very bona fide grievance. If you mowed the lawn, you would have one.
Boy, oh boy, E, do you have a rendering here?
That's based on his description. He's technically right.
I mean, think back to some prior grievances. Having to turn left and the person in front of you doesn't go. Like, what's the solution to that?
Yeah.
You're really going to solve everybody's driving woes? I mean,
well,
these grievances don't always have a solution.
The argument would be is that you could fix people. How you could start giving tickets. Like a cop could sit there every or I don't know.
Here's my solution to slush: move out of Michigan, move down south.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but yeah, that's not
so
really
reasonable. Must you have
reasonable.
A solution? There you go. Now,
it's not reasonable.
Render judgment, gentlemen.
It's not terribly reasonable for the entire North and East to move somewhere warm. And
Imagine if we just declared it a godforsaken state.
It's just a wasteland now, barren.
Damn slush.
Yeah. I just don't know.
It's awful. You get out of your car, you step into a big pile of slush. All of a sudden, your foot's all wet.
I know I'm torn because I hate that as much as you do. I fucking hate slush. Fuck slush. Slush can suck a dick as far as I'm concerned.
In what part of the rules of grieving is there a need to stay away from
hold on
acts of God?
Would you let me render, please? Usually with a grievance, it's unlikely that there's a solution, but there usually is a solution that could be found somewhere. Whether you have extra police patrols and watching lights or, oh yeah, if we just fix that thing, that grievance would go away. There is not a solution on the planet that we know of that eliminates slush.
Not a reasonable one.
So,
global warming could help that out.
While I hate it, and I lean towards giving you bona fide anyways, because you're not a normal complainer. You don't tend to bitch about things. So I'll grant you that, but I'm going to have to give you a minus for it. I'm going to have to give you a bona fide minus.
Jesus, how about a bona fide plus, and we just even her out to bona fide?
I don't know if I can go plus, but I based on
stand your ground.
That wet foot, you're always walking around with a wet footy.
Dude, you're talking to someone with a hole in their shoe, and I went out to get my garbage cans today.
Slush.
My sock is still wet from the slush. I hate slush.
Go try shoveling that shit. You get half a shovel load, and you're breaking your back.
That's where the people. That's where people get their heart attacks and shit from. Is heavy snow, and heavy snow is pretty much slush.
And your judgment
I'll just say bona fide.
Thank you.
By the way, I gotta say, Mike, I got another grievance. People that send Christmas cards with no money in them.
Whoa.
I don't care.
That's a great one, dude. That should have been put to a clock, but you said it so succinctly. I
could join you with Hanukkah cards.
I mean,
I'm holding one in my hand. No money falls out of this.
I know. E and I have been. This is kind of our thing. We open Christmas cards because people are nice enough to send them, and we open them, and it's like we just open the card and nothing falls out, and it's like fuck you.
What's the point of this?
It's kind of chuck it into a corner. So I don't want to see your damn family. Get out of here,
dude. There's no money in Christmas cards. Okay, I hate to break it to you guys.
I know, but
adults, and it's a
my grandma when she gave
me a waning.
I
know my nana too.
It's a waning tradition. There's not a lot of cards going around anymore with emails and so forth, but they do happen amongst adults, and there's no money in them, dudes.
I know.
I don't want Christmas cards.
I know, but it's the moment before when it's like, oh, this has been handwritten. It looks good. This isn't stock. This isn't just like mailers. Someone actually sent this to me, And then it's like, please.
Season's greetings.
Even a $5.
Happy
Even a
Yuletide.
Finsky. A Finsky would be fine. It's like, and then you open it and nothing. And
Christmas cards don't have money in them.
They should.
man. Oh, man. I wanted a Finsky.
Hey, speaking of money, starting now, running through January 2nd, our friends at Zadford are offering employee pricing for everyone. Check out what you can lease for under $100 a month. A new 17 Ford Fusion, a new 17 Ford Taurus, a new 18 Ford Escape, or lease these under $200 a month. A new 17 Ford Explorer, a new 18 Ford Edge, a new 18 Ford F-150 four-wheel drive Super Cab or Super Crew. Now, remember, employee pricing for everyone at Zadford ends January 2nd.
This is when they got their big deals going on, too. That end-of-year push.
Dude,
Gabbara always says, like, dude, this is the time. If you're looking for a new car, end of the year, when they've got the newest models coming in for the next year.
Totally.
This is the time, man, when you're going to get amazing deals. So call them up if you're on the fence. Couple crazy stories today, Jay, about travel. Well, yesterday and today.
Atlanta.
We've got Atlanta, and then did you see that Amtrak train derailing in Washington
I did
today?
not.
Wow.
Washington State?
Yeah. It's supposed to take people from, it's this like high speed service linking Seattle to Portland.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was train 501. There's last report I saw, at least 6 dead.
Oh, no.
77 injured, and I think it held 78 people. This thing like went off a bridge, like took a turn, went off a bridge and down onto the freeway below,
shit.
hitting cars and shit, and didn't kill any of the drivers, any of the people in the cars going by, which is kind of a miracle.
Have all violins been returned from...
I thought about that. I don't know. I haven't seen any Asian girls going, can someone please get my... Please, where's my violin?
My violin. Oh,
my
my God.
God. Do you know how much that thing's worth? There's like 80 dead people on that one.
Bitch.
The crazy thing about this...
That was the last big one, man. This doesn't happen often.
No, it doesn't. This is... it was the very first day of this brand new service. This is like the Titanic, dude. Didn't the
No
Titanic's
shit.
inaugural run...
That doesn't look like a brand new train car to me. You mean just the track, the
Well, it was,
connection there?
It's the first day of the new high-speed Cascade service.
Oh shit! You'd think they'd have tested it, right, Mike?
Yeah, you would think, as
Like,
right.
Run her around the corners real quick, without people in them.
Yeah. It was supposed to, like, the big thing was like, oh, it can take curves at high speeds.
Remember
and
those
blah, blah,
Tyco
blah.
racetracks where you'd have the plunger?
Do I remember 'em?
Yeah, and you. This was probably the most epic toy my brother and I ever had.
Epic.
Yeah, and you plug the thing in and it had the little electrical track, and you'd have to just be real easy with how you went around those turns. That's what happened here. Somebody pushed their plunger too hard.
You think so?
Yeah. And
So
the
when they
train
put
went right
the
off. They'd spin right off. Remember?
Oh, hell
They'd
yes.
go whipping off the ping pong table onto the floor into the corner.
You had the little metal post, and you stuck the metal post into the middle of the track,
Yep.
and then
That
you
was the
could
little
fishtail that
conductor.
son of a bitch. And then, yeah, you'd have your gun. Vzz, vzz, vzz.
And if you just floored it, just
Oh,
go flying off.
yeah.
So you had to ease onto it, and then you'd get the rhythm of it as you went into certain turns. And that's what, see, this guy just didn't have the rhythm of it.
Yeah. I don't know if he did, because I would do those loop-to-loops, and you could hit those at pretty good speed.
Of course.
I don't know if there was...
loop-to-loop. I didn't have a loop.
You didn't have a
I
loop-to-loop?
didn't have a loop-to-loop.
Get out of here. Wait. You didn't have a Tyco, did you? Did you have like a Myco or something brand?
I think it was a Tyco. It was from Radio Shack, man.
I think Radio Shack only sold Radio Shack brands.
Maybe
Did you
it
have a Radio Shack Tyco?
Yeah.
Ooh. Dude, I honestly don't know if Radio Shack... You didn't have a loop-to-loop in
I
yours?
didn't have a loop-to-loop. But I
Dude.
had... It had, like, it was sort of big, and it was kind of fun, I thought.
Yeah, it was just...
No loop-to-loop, but...
Wow, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring that up. Sore subject. Anyway, right before the bridge where this happened, there's a sizable curve in the track.
And the guy just pushed too hard. He pushed his thumb down.
Dude, he was going 80.
You think
Can't go 80.
Yeah.
One of those curves. 78 passengers on board, and then they had 5 crew members. And then they said, so one guy says, we just passed the city of DuPont. It seemed like we were going around a curve. All of a sudden, we felt this rocking, creaking noise. Felt like we were headed down a hill. It must have felt like a roller coaster for at least a minute, for at least a second there. Next thing we know, we're being slammed into the front of our seats. Windows are breaking. We stop. There's water gushing out of the train. People are screaming. The tracks for this line were supposed to be upgraded to be able to handle higher speeds. I'm not sure what happened. So, yeah,
Wow.
there were many...
Somebody done fucked up.
Yeah, many people on the train for its first trip, including rail enthusiasts. So you had all these nerd rail guys.
Total nerds.
Were they wearing
Probably
their
wearing
hats?
their
I was
conductor's
gonna
hats and
say.
shit. So those guys were all on there. Passengers were given lanyards for the,
these nerds.
for the
I don't know
commemorative
why.
journey.
Just these nerdy dudes with big glasses and
And
the
their
hats.
blue and
they're
white
just
striped
like,
overalls and that blue and white striped hat.
With their train whistles.
Right.
Those wooden
hell
train
yeah.
whistles.
And then the train just starts like, whoa.
They probably all know each other because there's only 45 of them on the
course.
planet, you know.
They flew in from all over the country to ride this train.
And so yeah, they were all given lanyards. They all had their lanyards for the inaugural trip. And then this happens, and so this is where I fell off with it. Like, it was a sad story, but then I'm like, what are we doing this for? Why are we doing this service? Like, if it's going to be the one that like lightning quick gets you there, fine. But here's the thing, the new service is supposed to make the journey between Portland and Seattle in 3 hours and 20 minutes, about 10 minutes faster than the previous.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, that's...
What? We're doing all this fucking upgrades and work, millions of dollars to save 10 minutes.
That's...
What is this?
So yeah, it was
They
part of this.
People died for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
No, but like these
So they
nerds,
say this was a $181 million project that included construction for a new train station. So I don't want to make it like it's just $180 million to save 10 minutes. Which
Is it possible that, yeah, like you
outrageous.
said, they're building an infrastructure that can handle a faster train at some point?
Well, here's the thing. I
Like
guess
right now it's only 10 minutes, but if you put this, ultra slick train on there, then it's going to be an hour.
It sounds like these tracks were like, you have trains going either way, right? And sometimes they cross, and sometimes there'd be a bridge where you've only got room for one train. And so you could be stopped for a while while this train goes and then this one goes. And so they added tracks to go around, sidestep those tunnels. And so that was the thing where you could have nonstop, where you didn't have to wait on another train. It sounds like that's what we did to save 10 minutes. And it's like,
So here's the question that we're all thinking. I mean, if 10 minutes isn't worth 7 lives, what is? 45 minutes?
dude, look, if it was a bullet and it got you there in 40 minutes,
That's your
is that
standard,
worth 7?
40 minutes?
If I
40
could
minutes
get from-
instead of 3.5 hours?
3 hours, 20 minutes.
Jesus, what are 7 people worth to you?
Let's make this comparable, because
At least
what's
an
the
hour.
one from Dearborn's train station to Chicago? Is that 4 or 5 hours?
Yeah.
Okay, so if we could make that trek in 45 minutes,
Yeah.
worth
that's-
7 lives?
Fuck yes.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Badass, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
77 people are going to get
mean,
injured
I
too,
mean,
but not catastrophically. We're going to lose a violin.
Nobody I
talking
know.
like one
Nobody I know.
time.
Nobody you know.
Okay.
No.
Boy.
Yeah.
You know, people you don't know
And
die all the time. Who cares?
I'm going to sweeten the pot. 3 of them are elderly.
Bunch of people.
One of them is a baby. So the baby doesn't know what's going on. The elderly
making
people
this-
lived a
you're
good
making
life. That's 4 down.
Can I make
We've
a
got 3 to
racist
go.
joke?
Sure.
Are most of them getting on at Dearborn?
Anyway,
I
sure. No, it's not. The accident didn't happen here. The accident happened in Portland, so it's none of our
okay.
people.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So it was really just a lot of grunge fans.
Okay. Yeah, no, grunge is dead.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Let's move forward.
Terrible, but that really stood out to me. I was like, man, I was really feeling bad for this story, but then when it was like 10 minutes,
That's brutal, man.
dude. And then the Atlanta one, and we all watched that documentary about airports and airplanes, and it was really
Is
fascinating.
it City in the Sky on Netflix?
Yes, exactly. 3-part documentary.
A lot of it focused on Atlanta just being the hub of everything, right?
Yeah, I mean, we learned in that thing, and who would have known that Atlanta is the biggest and most busiest airport on the planet.
Yeah.
And it's, what is it? What did they say?
Within 3 hours of like 85% of the country or
or
something.
most, yeah, like 90% of the country. And so that's a huge hub. And yesterday they had a blackout, which you can imagine.
They're saying it was literally just an electrical failure, right? No tomfoolery, no
yeah.
terrorism, nothing
Well,
like
I don't know if they've determined it. The story I read said that there was some electrical grid under that had a fire, and they think that was the thing, but they haven't said exclusively that it was. That's the last I heard. If that's changed, I don't know.
that. Yeah. Well, you've been saying, we've talked about it many times, that more upsetting than a 9/11 style terrorist attack in the future may be something that really knocks us out in terms of infrastructure and really affects our lives for an extended period. That gives you a little glimpse, right? Holiday season.
Totally.
Huge hub.
Yep.
affected many. Hundreds of flights were canceled,
Thousands.
delayed.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
I heard 1,000 flights at least.
Yeah, there's one of those nerds, and these guys are out there that track flights all day long. Like that's their thing.
What?
They go on computers
Like
and they'll
private people.
Oh yeah, like dude, these people are hilarious.
Now that ham radios are gone, this is what they do.
Exactly. So you could type in like flight NH380D, and it's like, well, it's over Portland now. It's going to be on the ground in an hour and a half.
Weren't most of those guys on the Portland train the other day, though?
Yeah,
you're
most
still
of them.
tracking.
But
We have a listener who's a nerd like this, but he hates flying. But every time I've flown for this show, he like asks me what's your flight number, and he'll like
Clark used to do that.
He'll like track it on the thing, and he'll tell me like, oh, says you landed on time, so look, everything looks good. And he's like admittedly scared of flying himself, but every time I've flown for this show,
Interesting.
he has
Yeah.
asked me my flight numbers and tracked them along. And
dude,
like,
during Mike's
everything's
show,
going good.
every time we would go on vacation, if Clark knew I was leaving, like going to visit Dust in San Diego or something, or family in Northern California, he'd be like, "Oh, I need your flight number," and I'd give it to him, and as soon as we'd like get on the ground and turn your phone back on, it'd be like bloop bloop bloop. Be like, I see you're back on the ground safely in San Diego.
Oh my God!
Yeah, he had to make a little I noticed the pilot had to make a little detour around that, and it's like, dude, you were literally watching the screen with a little fucking plane like going up and coming back
Well,
down.
that reflects that you're rising and falling.
Yeah, and just coming
Nothing to do
into
with
the
the curvature
airport.
of the Earth.
So those people exist,
The
man.
alleged curvature of the
I
Earth.
was gonna say, yeah,
But-
what a
but-
statement.
I was going to say one of the nerds that does that, showed a graphic yesterday. He sent it out and was like, here are all the flights from Atlanta right now that are currently in the air. 2. Ooh. And he's like, usually there would be thousands of planes over this area, but he said there's 2. And I was just like, those lucky sons of bitches that got on those last 2 flights out of
Yeah.
town. Because people were stuck on the tarmac for 9
15
hours,
hours.
15
I
hours.
heard a woman this morning talking on the news. 15 hours.
Dude,
she
that's
sat there.
bullshit. I'm sorry, that's bullshit. I thought they fixed that. Where-
Passenger Bill of Rights.
yeah, I thought they fixed that where we had some outrageous thing where they were stuck on the tarmac for 7 or 9 hours, and people agreed. And I thought there were new things put in place.
Maybe
where,
there's a category though where if it's just a delay issue, then you have certain rights. But if it's like an emergency issue, as this probably
Yeah.
could have been categorized, maybe it's different. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
'Cause they
It
had
just
fire
This is probably
vehicles
this,
and
what I was
shit
gonna
like
say.
that.
This is probably different than some of those things. Like it was so insane that it was all just no power. There probably was already planes at the gates.
And
I
the ones
mean,
you always hear nightmares about are weather.
Yeah.
It's like, why the fuck are we sitting here then? Let us off.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what you're referring to. And,
Yeah,
and that's right. I mean, you should have a period of time where, okay, we're not going and it doesn't look like
Yeah.
we're going in the next hour, so you can get off.
and you would know there's 75 planes in front of us. This plane ain't going
Yeah.
anywhere. If the thing came on right now, we're not going anywhere till 4 in the morning. So, yeah, I don't know why you can't deplane people and just keep them corralled. Like, get out of those tiny little seats and those bathrooms, which fill up immediately. Like, people get nervous and start shitting in those johns.
I think the thought probably
immediately.
is it's more of a problem to get people off and try to corral them than to have them corralled in their planes.
Maybe, but it just,
I
like,
know
I feel
personally
like,
that's very annoying, and
But
I
without
wouldn't want to be there
electricity,
either.
I mean, this seems like this could have been a thing where could they even go up and
Exactly.
would everything
that's
work?
my
legit-
initial point.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
this was probably categorized as an emergency and therefore outside the purview of this Bill of Rights that you're referring to.
well, and to your point, Jay, when you were talking about, if our fear of this is how the enemy's going to take us out, they don't need a big arsenal of, massive military
All they
to do
need
it.
is some wire snips.
They just need a nerd who can break into your computer system and shut it down and then wipe you off the
Some
grid.
dork sitting in his basement,
I
jeans getting tight.
Typing away
As
all
he
night.
types away, this is gonna knock out Atlanta.
How are they going to deal with this 4 days before Christmas?
It's gonna ruin everybody's Yuletide.
Hope you didn't send your presents out of a flight from Atlanta. Dorks. But the point is, I don't think we're going to handle the apocalypse well because
If this
you
is
saw.
any indication.
Yeah, like this could have been just a dry run, and we got 6 hours in, and people were losing their shit. It's like they're tweeting, "This is unacceptable behavior." It's like, dude, wait till the fucking, wait till
real
we
deal.
go vigilante here.
Yeah.
Wait till we go. This is just straight up anarchy. So why doesn't Atlanta have an emergency backup system? Nancy wants to know. Nancy's demanding to know. Why the biggest fucking airport on the planet. Where's their emergency backup system? Yeah, the mayor said that that they passed out water, but my son never saw it. What about
Why
old
don't you
people?
level with me then?
Or kids with no food, water, or place to sleep, and it's cold, barely lighted. They should be ashamed.
The
I
mayor,
could care less.
the mayor said they passed out water. My son didn't see any. Do you know how many people were in that airport?
It's like after 6 hours and people, come on. There's no rooms. What are we going to do? Yeah, tell it to the kid in Syria whose house has just been bombed. His whole family's been wiped out. It's like you're worried about, I don't have a glass of water. This is bullshit.
Perspective.
People were kind of funny about it, though. A lot of people were tweeting, attempting to get in or out of Atlanta. Just an FYI, I think the first episode of The Walking Dead started like this. If the power out at Atlanta if the power's out at the Atlanta airport, does that mean there is one airport in the nation that is not playing CNN? People in Atlanta, it's a win. Boy, who doesn't get that tweet if you've ever been to an airport? And then someone says, "Yeah, I bet the parking timers still work." For people whose cars are stuck there for extra lengths of time. And then they sent a message out and they were like, while you're waiting, Chick-fil-A is open now and will be providing food for people that are hungry. And people are like, it's Sunday and Chick-fil-A's open? No way!
Yeah,
like,
that's still their thing, right?
Yeah. Which was the big story. Remember in Atlanta?
Yeah, even in their stadium, right?
Yeah. And it was like... There was like the one game this year. They had a Saturday game or a Thursday night game at home, and it was the one time Chick-fil-A was open at Mercedes-Benz, stadium with Chick-fil-A and the Falcons playing. But they have shows 100 other days a year, so that's where they make their money. But that would suck, dude. I think we've all had a travel issue at an airport at some point where your flight's delayed or you're sitting on a runway for 40 minutes, and it's. Dude, there's almost nothing worse than that feeling of like, oh my God, go! Man, we're just going to de-ice here, folks. We should be off the ground here momentarily. Take to the friendly skies. Certainly appreciate your patience. We should be heading out here in about 20 minutes or so.
And you've had this vacation on your calendar for 9 months, and it's the one time you can get away, and everything's riding on this damn flight.
Supposed to be in Cancun in an hour! Oh man, we were talking about Mister yesterday.
Yeah, Mister's selling, man.
Dude, can you believe he's dumping out of his team?
That was quick.
I would think if you're going to sell your billion-dollar franchise that you would at least be accused of rape, not like, how long it take you to get them jeans on, lovey?
This might be a case of what you always say. Maybe he's just like, you know what? Fuck it. I know I can make money.
Yeah.
Sell it. Go. I'm just saying that.
Yeah,
why
maybe
bother?
he's subscribing to our mantra that we always come up with in this instance. Like, fuck it, man. Why put yourself through that? Good point, E. Go sit on a fucking island. Be done with it.
At 81, but those guys don't tend to like to give up.
Yeah.
That's something you pass down to the family. You give the family the franchise. But yeah, he's
I wonder if he's
bailing.
backed in the corner with some super hardcore racist statements on tape or something where they're just like, yeah, dude, this is going to break. So let's just be done with this.
It's still going to break, but how about you get the fuck out of town before it does?
We'll give you a head start.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to do the math and I couldn't, so I don't have really anything to say further. But 81 years old, when you rewind 81 years in this country, like where were we? Where he started would have been at a time
30s.
where it was a much, much different country. And through his formative years, it would have been a really shitty place for a lot of people in this country to be. And so, maybe he just lived too long. I think it's, who does that bit? Is it Bill Burr, where it's like, he's talking about it's possible to live too long, to outlive where, like,
your sensibilities.
Yeah, where you just think, like, dude, what the fuck's the problem? I said that 50 years ago was fine.
Yeah.
What's the problem? Now all your friends are dead. You're still hanging on
Now
at
I'm
93.
senile and I can't process all these new rules.
And so it's possible that these guys are just outliving them, living 81 years. And, now there's going to be something on tape that he said probably in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, So anyway, he's out, but it looks like Colin Kaepernick and Sean P. Diddy Combs are interested in buying the team.
What's Kaepernick's net worth?
I know,
dude.
Yeah.
He signed a big, like, $120 million contract or $100 million contract at some point. But dude, $100 million is nothing. You're talking about a franchise that's worth $2.3 billion.
Wow.
He bought that that
Wow.
team in 1993 for $206 million, and it's valued now at $2.3 billion.
Well, you
So-
know what? Maybe he's looking at the league in its entirety and just going, you know what? This league's going away anyway.
Yeah, it's not
You know?
a terrible
I mean,
thought, dude.
All that, you know, maybe we are at the apex. Colin Kaepernick's net worth $20 million.
Yeah, there you go.
And
No,
that's
that's a figurehead owner if there ever was one. It's P. Diddy's team. Kaepernick's the figurehead.
right.
Well, P. Diddy was like, I want in.
Are we still calling him P. Diddy? You sure about that?
I guess he goes by Diddy now. Diddy. He's like, I'll be the best NFL owner you can imagine. I will immediately address the Colin Kaepernick situation and put him in the running for next year's starting quarterback. Also, I
Is
will
he
have
buying the team just so he can have Colin Kaepernick be the quarterback?
I
so
don't know.
Cam Newton's out. Kaepernick's in. I mean,
That's
what?
a great point, dude.
So somebody can get Cam Newton pretty cheap on the market, I guess, is what he's signaling.
That is hilarious.
It's absurd.
I wasn't even thinking. I was like, yeah, why not? Like Jake Delhomme's still there at 46 or something. No, it's Cam Newton, Superman himself. Yeah, that's sure. Kaepernick's probably going, nah, dog. How about once you become an owner, you talk like one of your owner buddies into like put me on their roster? Because I ain't competing with Cam Newton, son. He says he'll address that. Also, I will have the best halftime show, the best selection of music, and we
Donald
will
Trump.
win Super Bowl after Super Bowl.
So he's lobbying his way into ownership of the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
All right, Diddy.
The best halftime show.
Sounds good to me. How about chocolate milk out of every water fountain? Huh?
Steph Curry jumped in.
Super Bowl after Super Bowl?
Yeah, Steph Curry jumps in. Yes, you heard that right. Golden State Warrior in the prime of his career with a couple NBA titles. I want in. Holla at me. Let's get it. And so, Diddy then replies, holla at me, bro. Let's get it. So now Steph Curry wants in. It's time for diversity. So Diddy then said, there are no majority African-American NFL owners. Let's make history. It's time for diversity. It's time for black ownership.
I'm all for it.
I agree with that.
And then he posted a picture of him wearing a Carolina Panthers jersey from like 1993, like this, with sunglasses on. He's like this, and he's got a massive chain around his neck. And I'm thinking, that's exactly what these 80-year-old billionaire owners want to see.
Right.
Is P. Diddy.
Standing there, what's up, motherfucker?
Motherfucker, bring it. It's
Go black!
I don't think they're terribly interested in that guy. You know, there's gonna be a sea change. You know, when these guys start dropping off, and they're dropping like flies.
What better time?
The Hallises, the four. You know, I'm not saying any of these guys did anything wrong, but you know, younger generations are coming into prominence for sure. But yeah, it was Swift too. I can't believe it.
There he is.
There you go. Hell
Is
yeah.
it a Peppers jersey?
Yeah, it's got to be. So once that SI article came out, he said, "Yep, I believe it's time to turn the franchise over to new ownership. Therefore, I'll put the team up for sale at the conclusion of the season. We will not begin the process, nor will we entertain any inquiries until the very last game is played."
Well, they're very likely in the playoffs, so he'll be, you know.
What if they won the Super Bowl?
Dude, I know. The value would just skyrocket.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's weird because they've got their GM, interim GM, Marty Herney, said he's never seen any evidence. That doesn't really mean anything when you're like, I've never seen him grab titties or do anything, you know.
Oh,
It's like,
okay, Marty.
As if he's going to do that in front of you. He said if this sale happens, I think it's significant loss for the NFL. I have the utmost respect for him as an owner. Our employees have the utmost respect for him. Cam Newton said Sunday after the game they won over Green Bay that he served as a father figure to him since his arrival in Carolina. For me, I hope things don't alter my thinking of Mr. Richardson, of Mr. But I do know that he has given me some things that I will forever be appreciative of.
Well, that should say something to the extent they're trying to make it a racial issue
Yeah.
with in connection with this guy. So,
I agree.
You know, Cam's not going to just back that. Like, Cam has been very outspoken against team rules and so forth. He's not just a yes man for the team.
Totally agree.
Hey, dealsinthed.com has several dealerships for listeners to choose from. One that doesn't get enough attention is Zott M59 Toyota in Waterford. Yes, they have the same ridiculous deals you've come to expect from our friends at Zott, as well as a fully certified state-of-the-art body shop. So get to Zott M59 Dodge Ram in Highland, Zott M59 Chrysler Jeep in White Lake, Zott M59 Toyota in Waterford, and of course, Zott Ford in Holly to support our podcast while enjoying a world-class experience on your next new or pre-owned car, truck, or SUV only from dealsinthed.com.
Sorry, I'm trying to get my stories in order here so they make sense for you later, Jay. George Zimmerman Remember
man,
George
I
Zimmerman?
haven't heard that name in a while.
I know. It seems like, I was willing to give George Zimmerman the benefit of the doubt for quite a while, probably longer than I should have. The more details that came out about Trayvon Martin, the more disturbing it was when you heard those 911 calls and the 911 operators just like, hey, dog, back off. Just go home. And then Zimmerman's point was, hey, man, I live in this neighborhood and there's been 170 break-ins over the last however many months. It's time for this shit to stop. I'm a watchman for the neighborhood, and when I see shit that doesn't look right, I'm gonna do something. So you could see where this went, and then kid doesn't like being followed by some fucking weirdo in a truck, and ends up kicking the shit out of him, slamming his head on the ground, and
Totally understandable.
Zimmerman pulls his gun and shoots the kid dead, and it's a horrible story on all fronts. But since that, Zimmerman was found not guilty. I almost said innocent. He was found not guilty, and I don't know that stand your ground was the law that they applied there. I know a lot of people believe that, but I don't know if technically stand your ground was the law that they went with.
I don't remember. I didn't track that closely.
I thought it was just self-defense. Yeah, straight self-defense. Everyone will tell you it was, though, stand your ground. That was the big story out of that. But anyway, since then, we've had numerous incidents come up where, he's violent with his girlfriend, and then he's violent with an ex-girlfriend, and
another
pulled
motorist.
a gun on someone. Yeah. And, it was enough that it was like, okay, dude, fuck. Just.
He was trying to sell the gun, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And that's pretty morbid, dude. That's pretty disrespectful.
And he's turned into a very vocal, anti, I don't want to say anti-blacks, but it's anti,
almost to that point, honestly.
It is,
it seems like, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking relax already, man.
Just stuff that's not going to go over well, especially coming from you. You're not doing yourself any favors. And so I'd kind of written the guy off, and then this comes up.
He goes and does what?
Well, he's fighting now with Jay-Z. And to me, that's probably the last. So basically the story is Jay-Z is doing a multi-part documentary on Trayvon Martin.
How do you win against Jay-Z?
No, you don't. No, you don't. So Zimmerman tells The Blast, I don't know what The Blast is, a show, a media outlet of some sort, that he has a score to settle with Jay-Z since his production team began filming this new documentary on the 2012 case. He claims the film crew made unannounced visits to the homes of his parents and an uncle in Florida, and is now threatening to beat Jay-Z. He says, I know how to handle people who fuck with me. I have since February 2012. And so let's see here. Zimmerman says he holds the rapper and his executive producer, Michael Gasparo, responsible for having harassed his family, saying that anyone who fucks with my parents will be fed to an alligator. So he's threatening to feed Jay-Z to an alligator?
That's going to be a tall order.
Yeah, it sure is. He's going to need help for sure doing that. He's
Although
also,
you could get to run Jay-Z's, might be able to get to him kind of easy with those low concert sales.
Yeah, I still think it's going to be a problem.
That was
You'd
a
have to
stretch.
get a hold of him in only certain states. I mean, it's not like you can just find a gator anywhere.
Good point.
He's going to have to be touring through Georgia or Florida, hopefully Florida. Anyway, so he's also upset, Zimmerman, over money he claims has been paid to his ex-wife for her participation in this documentary. So that leads me to believe that she's going to be on record saying,
on him.
Yeah, shitting on him, and he knows that. And he's like, motherfucker, you paid that bitch to... And so Snoop Dogg has jumped into the fray, and this is what I was afraid of. This really is what, I feared. I don't know if Zimmerman played this out, but Snoop is like, if one hair on Jay's head is touched, that's when the revolution will be televised. We won. O-N-E, not W-O-N. We won. Thank the system. Let that bitch-ass motherfucker get away with murder. Try it again. Trayvon Martin gone but not forgotten. And I think, that cookie's going to crumble bigly. And there's going to be a lot more than just Snoop coming out in support of Jay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who's going to side with Zimmerman in this? He's...
it's got to be terribly frustrating. And we had a lot more sympathy for... who was the cop that shot Michael Brown? Why can't I think of his name all of a sudden?
Aaron Milson.
Yeah, Darren Wilson. Darren Wilson, when it's like, these people are living in secrecy now for their families are, death threats, the whole works. You can imagine what Zimmerman's life has been like. He probably can't go anywhere without.
Yeah, but
know,
you have little sympathy when he's not helping himself, you know?
Right.
Just being a cocksucker.
exactly,
You're
which
asking for it, man.
yeah, but you just don't want to kick that hornet's nest over and over and over, and that's what he seems to be doing. Didn't he have some art he was selling too? Wasn't there like?
Rings a bell.
I thought there was
I believe
something like
so.
about like he drew an American flag with
Yes, you're right.
something like that he was selling.
Dude,
and
he's going to end up with a bullet in his head.
he is. I wouldn't doubt it if there was if there wasn't already a
Bounty
mark
out
on
on
him. Yeah, bounty. Why not? I mean, that'd be a trophy kill for sure for the cause. You know, I hope that doesn't happen, but honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. Let's take a quick break, and then have you heard, Jay, about that billionaire couple in Toronto that was?
I did. I haven't read much about it, but it's curious, Mike.
It's very curious, and I don't know. We'll get into that and more next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break. Detroitcast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
All right, welcome back to the Detroitcast, powered by DealsInTheD.com. And this is the time of the year to hit Deals in the D and get yourself a new car.
Automobile.
Yes, this is time to get the best prices out there. So, anyway, let's see. E, are you doing history? Not today.
No, nothing.
Did you see him flip the fuck out right
Yeah,
there?
what was that all about?
What was that all
It's
about?
a
That was
typical,
weird.
It's a typical me thing. Something came to my head that I meant to say during the break, and I forgot, and I'm mad at myself. That's all.
It was in mid-sentence, and he just like
Yeah, he physically
freaked.
Yeah,
It was stupid.
got
No.
flustered.
Do you want to say what it was now, or was
Yeah,
did it
sure.
have to go on the
I
break?
guess I guess I could say it. It's not anything bad. I know we do email at the end of every show all the time, and I just realized recently, like, we don't say what the email is
Email at
for new people.
DetroitCast.com.
Okay, so there you go.
Or
then.
Jay at DetroitCast.com.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. All I was gonna
Walters.
say is during the break,
Yeah,
I was
don't bother.
Yeah, never mind.
I
I was
was-
going to finish that thought. but
Black
forget it.
hole at DetroitCast.com.
right.
Does E read his?
Garbage can at DetroitCast.com.
I read mine.
Never heard from again at DetroitCast.com.
You will get no response.
Fucked
At
at
DetroitCast.com.
DetroitCast.com.
Speaking of DetroitCast.com, I did want to follow up on the Listener Business Network. I now have internet access, at least through my phone.
Oh, great.
A very shitty phone here. Yeah, the two featured businesses this week. Hey, Blind Biz. They specialize in all type of custom blinds, shades, and shutters. Free in-home consultations and free installation. They serve all of Metro Detroit. Give listener Rich a call today. Also, hey, Frankenmuth. It's time to get up to Frankenmuth. It's a Yuletide. My God, is there a better time? I can't think of one. Go to Frankenmuth Old Time Photo. The most fun in Frankenmuth. Reserve your appointment online today. Promo code TDCJ if you're reserving online. They also travel for weddings and special events. It's a lot of fun. I know people have been tweeting at me recently. The picture of the mural of myself and my lovely bride. And I'm not sure these are people who are actually going in the store, but they're seeing the mural at least.
Right.
Sending me the picture.
It's a kick-ass mural. I know. I get it sent to me, and every time I'm like, dude, that is dope.
Head in there and
very
get your
cool.
pictures done. It's fun.
We before the break, we might have to do a couple minutes of extra content today, guys.
Sure.
Because I have a lot of stories that we haven't got to, and we're just going to run out of time.
You're not
So-
going to barf on us.
No,
are you? I mean, there's no
won't.
danger of that.
I know you
We're-
guys want to get out of here too, but maybe we'll do a brief one. Anyway, before the break, I mentioned that that Toronto couple,
Yeah.
the billionaires, who were found dead.
Where'd he
and
make his money?
pharmaceuticals?
Why did I say his?
I don't know.
I mean,
it's
she could
interesting.
easily have made the billion.
For sure. We'll get into that. I've got some details about some of that stuff. But an autopsy has revealed that the cause of death for this couple, they were found inside their Toronto mansion. Barry Sherman and his wife, Honey. I know.
Come on.
Bunny, Honey, Cinnamon,
Bambi.
Mercedes, Bambi, like
Is
all
that
of
a
this. Like,
Christian given name?
I don't know. I don't know if she was a stripper at one point or, yeah, but Honey, whatever. They were found dead Friday from ligature neck compression,
Ooh.
suggesting they may have been strangled.
Ooh.
Dude, that's not an easy way to kill someone. Like,
Especially two.
like when either one of us decides it's time to kill Big E, like I would suggest, I don't know what you're planning. I know you're a planner by nature. I would not suggest strangulation. Like that's a
Yeah.
lot harder than people think to do. Anyway, multiple outlets reported the police initially were investigating possible murder or suicide, which is really kind of shitty. You know, if that wasn't the case, but you know, sources inside
right.
they've come up with an idea. I mean, because it's basically just working theories. You leak that to the press, and then the press runs with it, and it sounds awful, dude. I mean, if something, God forbid, happened to you and Gab, and someone says murder, suicide, and your whole family's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, dude, how dare you?
They're left to wonder for the rest of their lives.
And for forever of all time, those stories exist on the internet of, was it murder, suicide? Murder. So yeah, the deaths initially were described as suspicious, which is why they leapt to that conclusion. They were found hanging from a rail on the edge of the basement swimming pool. So here's
yeah, I would say suffocation by ligature is
think about
pretty accurate.
Yeah, well, think about a pair of shoes. You tie the laces together and throw them up over a wire, a telephone
Never
wire,
happened
whatever.
to you, Mike? Of course it didn't.
No,
Big E?
Big E probably had his shoes
No, he
tied
had
together.
Velcro.
Yeah, that's true. But think
Still
about that.
work. If
That's
you Velcro them together, you just have to
yeah,
have better aim.
You'd have to have much better aim, and I think the Velcro would let go too
Probably.
quicker. But see, there's their pool.
Yeah. Let's see
And see that railing? It's an in-ground down in the basement pool, which is kind of weird.
They were hanging from that?
Yeah.
Dude, that's
That
morbid and
weird?
grim and gross.
I know. And so investigators also toyed with the theory that Sherman killed his wife, and this is toyed with the theory, that he killed his wife at some place in the mansion, hanged her body, and then hanged himself on the pool's edge. Suppose anything's possible. They recently put their house up for sale for $5.4 million, and they're not going to get anywhere near that now, are they?
Well, it comes with ghosts now.
Yeah, I mean, dude, honestly, if two people were hanged in your house, you wouldn't. I mean, that's got to knock at least, what, $1.5 million off the price?
I would think. I
At
would think a
least.
lot of people can't look past that.
You couldn't swim.
We've talked about that.
You couldn't swim. I couldn't.
Not with gusto.
No, exactly. You'd think about it every time you'd flip to do a lap.
Yeah.
You just would.
It wouldn't be a joyful place.
The immediate family were really pissed off at law enforcement. I don't blame them. Tell them for saying the murder-suicide, was possible, even though the autopsy results weren't released yet, and they slammed reports of this and said it was irresponsible. Our parents shared an enthusiasm for life and commitment to their family and community, totally inconsistent with the rumors.
Plus, the insurance policy won't pay off if it's suicide. So.
Great point. Regrettably circulated in the media as the circumstances surrounding their deaths. We are shocked and think it's irresponsible that police sources have reportedly advised the media of a theory which neither their family, friends, nor colleagues believe to be true.
Plus, the insurance policy won't pay off if they kill themselves.
Yes. Yep. Good point. The Shermans were among Canada's most generous philanthropists.
Yeah. They're philanthropic.
They are.
Righty?
Yeah.
I don't know. I always take issue with the whole philanthropic thing.
Because you always go, is it really enough? Okay, he gave 25 grand to this. He's a billionaire.
Yes, I have said that. When a guy gives $10 million
like
and he's
Kevin
worth,
Hart,
he's worth $50 billion and he gives $10 million, it's like, ooh. Well, spread out,
So
big
if you don't Bill Gates it, you're nothing in Mike's mind.
Great point. And so, no, I saw reports. It was weird. I was over at Beth's and she doesn't have cable.
Really?
And so she's just
Way to
got
go,
like,
Beth.
yeah, she's got my Hulu and my Netflix and my HBO Go. So don't act like she's dying over there. But when she's watching standard TV, a lot of times it's CBC. She's got
Sweet.
Channel 9. And so I'm over there, and this is a huge story, obviously, on the Canadian Broadcasting Channel. And so I'm over there, and this is all the thing, and they've got, like, neighbors. And it's just like, oh, okay, there's $400 sunglasses. Oh, that's a $500 hat she's wearing and her Mercedes, and they're putting flowers at the door. It's like, they just did so much work for the community, and Honey was just everywhere. She was so philanthropic, and she's going to be missed dearly. And that's true. And I don't mean to, shit on Honey at all. However.
It's another word for butt.
But I didn't say but. I said however.
Okay.
However, I just think it should be noted, asterisk, star, whatever you want to do, that, like, this is different than the normal guy who's got nothing and is still giving of himself. You do understand that. Honey probably doesn't have a job, but Honey has to do something. And so it's like, you know what? I'm going to go get written up in papers for, like, Big E. Big E gets all this money raised for, and people write articles about him, and Big E feels good about himself. There's toast to Honey. There are dinners in Honey's honor.
I see your point, but
And
she
so it's
could
like-
also just not do all that, So-
You're right. You're right. She could just do liquid lunches all day with the ladies. But I always take that with, because you see celebrities do that. You see their real nature, and then they make it big, and the bigger they get, the more they have to be, like, open to everybody, man, and it's all about saving the planet and global warming and blah, blah, blah. And
Relatively speaking, the sacrifice is not that great, is your point. Right?
Yeah.
So for us to give, for me to give $20,000 to something, like, fuck, dude.
Or an hour. Where do you find a spare hour?
Right.
Honestly, like, you don't.
But Honey,
But
all
Honey-
the time in the world, all the money in the world, and so I see your point.
So, yeah, it's kind of a dick move, especially since they're deceased, and I do feel bad for
I
them.
back your however.
However, they did give us stats on their, where their money came from, because I was interested too. Like, how did we do this? So let's start with Barry. Barry Sherman, age 75, born in Toronto, Canada. He is Jewish, Jay, so you got something in common with Barry right out of the
I'm
gate.
not Jewish. Nothing against the Jews. The Hebrews are good people, but I'm not Jewish.
His business that he started was Apotex Pharmaceuticals, and I believe their goal was to make generic drugs that were sold to other countries in Canada, especially for much lower prices, and instead of paying, $10 a pill for a Viagra. He could get it for like $1 for you.
By the way, Viagra just went to
I know
to those
generics.
Are you interested?
Oh yeah, I'm very interested.
So
Always.
I heard that it was like normally about $30 a pill, and now it's maybe more like 10.
I think it was 10. Well, shit, I don't know, dude. Without insurance, yeah, maybe. It's worth it though. I mean,
So-
to get that thing just fucking rock like when you were 17, it's unbelievable, dude.
Let the record reflect. The only one in the room who's used Viagra is Mike.
Right.
Okay, so for anybody
And
who's
I
just
will have you know,
new
sir,
to the show.
that I thought, dude, this is amazing. At my advanced age, I have not lost anything. I am as fucking raging as ever as when I was 15 until I took one of those. And then it was like, oh, well, fucking rock.
Is it sort of like introducing reading glasses to the situation?
Yeah.
Like I should not, like since you've put them on, you can't take them off because your eyes have quit.
Yeah.
I don't want to take a Viagra. I'm
Dude,
afraid what'll happen to my dong.
You
under
will
normal
just
circumstances.
be, you will be, I don't even want to know.
Well, I'm not going there until I have to.
Yeah.
So let me guess. How did Honey make her money?
Well,
a
hold
lot
on,
of
let's
dick
finish.
sucking of berries? Or?
Well, his wealth estimated at $3.2 billion. I have seen $3.6 billion. That makes him the 363rd richest man in the world, 7th in Canada. He went to the
Not
University
bad.
of Toronto, MIT, degree in engineering. So those are his stats. Hold on, let me grab Honey's. Shit, I got to be on here somewhere.
No, Honey. Yeah. Honey has a mouth of a Jean and a butthole and hands.
Shit, there's Barry right. Like you see it, they like pulled it all out. There's Barry's stats, everything about. Hold on, Honey's has to be in here somewhere. They wouldn't leave her out.
Supportive wife.
Fuck, I must have. I know it's in the
Yeah,
story.
the printer's
dude.
been acting up.
It has. It must have left that page off about what Honey did.
That whole page.
brought to the table. But she's, dude. She's at every year. She's supporting the Ronald McDonald House. She's taking Bear's money. She takes Bear's money and like to the Ron McDonald House. She's doing this. She did Dancing with the Stars in Toronto.
Did she really?
Yeah.
Ah,
She
okay.
did Dancing with the Toronto Stars. They gave her a dance lesson guy that came over to the house and gave her like 20 free lessons. And she was the toast of the town. She really looked kind of good too. I mean, he
Yeah?
was spinning her around and this and that. And then they had a banquet in her honor. And I swear to God, dude, it was part of the story.
Wow, she was really out there.
Yeah. So it's philanthropic people, man. God bless them. But are you looking at pictures of her?
I was trying to, but I don't know. This isn't her, so.
Did you see John Skipper resigned from ESPN this morning?
No, I don't know who that is.
He's the president of ESPN. Most of the news regarding him lately has been like, remember when we called ESPN? What did they do?
They took Robert Lee off a game
Oh yeah,
'cause they were concerned in Virginia whether people would
Yeah.
conflate this Asian American broadcaster with the real Robert E. Lee,
Yeah, Confederate general.
Mm-hmm. And so they had great concerns, and they didn't want any mix-up to occur. So they,
Yeah.
just put somebody else on the game.
they did not take Bob Lee, interestingly enough, off a game.
No, they didn't.
I looked it up, dude. His actual name is Robert Lee, Ley.
A white guy.
Yep. They didn't take him off the game. There's been a lot ESPN getting into the political world, so
Yeah.
I've seen his name quite a bit lately.
The skip job.
Yeah, the skip. And so he's stepping down, announced the news in a statement this morning, took many by surprise, led others to speculate, oh boy, what's the damning story that's about to drop
Being
about the
called
skip?
to the principal's office,
Mm-hmm.
perhaps.
Yep. So they're saying, that story might not be far behind. We'll see. He says, look, I've struggled for many years with substance abuse and addiction problems. I've decided most important thing for me is I can do right now is take care of my problem. I've disclosed that decision to the company. We mutually agreed that it was appropriate that I resign. I will always appreciate the human understanding and warmth that Bob, I'm assuming he's talking about Bob Iger, displayed here, and always I come to this public disclosure with embarrassment, trepidation, and a feeling of having let others I care about down.
So is the drug addiction disclosure similar to Kevin Spacey's
I'm gay.
I'm gay disclosure?
Maybe.
Change the subject, get that out there just as a possible reason that this stuff could have occurred. A drug haze.
Yeah, well,
Just filter,
what do you mean?
filter
like
everything
if-
everything you're going to hear about me in the next week.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
filter that through the lens of having been drug addled for 20 years.
Well, that's a great point. And so
Total
you're saying like a
speculation.
preemptive, speculation for sure. But if there were to be a story that, and there very well may not be.
Then guess what? The first thing people would do is go, well, how could this have been? And drug addicted, and
Yeah.
boy, I wasn't
Dude, I'm
thinking
sorry.
clearly.
I've done loads and loads of drugs, and I've never
None
just,
of them make you grab the
nah,
jeans?
just raped
Finger
a girl,
chicks?
finger chick that didn't want it. Cat called. Like, it's never made me do anything. I've been really fucked up at times too. I mean, like, really fucked up, and I've never just grabbed a titty or a vagina, like, never. So I don't like that excuse of like, oh, I was in a drunk is different. But drug haze, I don't like that as an excuse. The thing that's weird about this is there's a lot of people that are trying, and I think rightly so. I see it both ways, I really do, but rightly so, to end the stigmatization. Is that the word?
I think so.
Of drug addicts being pieces of shit, shameful, blah blah blah. I don't go as far as to be like, oh, they had no control over this. It's just, it is
I
what
think
it
it's
is.
particularly conducive to that when you're talking about opioids,
Right.
Not opiates, but opioids. They're called
Opioids.
because everybody can understand that being prescribed something for your wisdom teeth, and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden, fuck, man, I can't give these things up, and I'm just Joe
Mm-hmm.
Schmo or Jane Doe housewife. God, Jane Doe gets into a lot of shit.
I know
doesn't
she does. It's
But
amazing she's still around.
I
It
agree
really
with
is.
your point.
It sucks because, to your point, that is a real big problem, dude. The one of I had my wisdom teeth pulled, I had knee surgery, and for the next month I'm taking X, and then you realize that, oh shit, it didn't take more than 10 days to get me physically addicted. Now you're not gonna be like going through the massive withdrawal of someone that's been on them for a decade, but it's not going to be quite as easy to just set them down. And if you've got them sitting there, there is a percentage of people, and it's a big percentage. People like you, Jay, are just going to go, no, I'm done with it. The knee's gone down, the swelling, it's good, I'm done. There's a lot of other people who are going to get that dopamine feeling and not react that way. And it's going to start a cycle for them that is very, very hard to get away from. And so when we were
For
told...
many, end up on heroin because they run out of the ability to get the prescription, and then there you are on the
Exactly.
street trying to get the same high.
Exactly.
With a dosage, you have no idea what it is or what's in it.
And knowing that these pharmaceutical companies went out of their way to sell this to doctors and whatnot as the end-all be-all for pain meds because it was non-addictive. And I had doctors sell me that.
I just
line.
think it's so unreasonable, though. Like,
unbelievable.
looking back, I know it's hindsight 2020, but the suggestion, as you would put it,
Mm-hmm.
that not only should you not feel pain, but you should feel euphoric.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that
Well,
should have
that's
been
just,
a big red flag, right?
That's one of the negative side effects that you just have to put up with,
Euphoria.
Jay. Euphoria. Nirvana, if you will. Feeling that is just one of the things you got to battle. So, but I think it's right to, like a lot of people, like if you had cancer, you wouldn't say something like, it's an embarrassment and I've let others down that I care about. Like, that stigma sucks where people end up making it way worse, staying in the shadows for fear of the shame that it's bringing their family, their friends, and stuff like that. That there is terrible embarrassment with that. And for a lot of people, you don't realize it's happening. It happens, and now you're here,
Deep.
and it's like, fuck. You're a good guy. You're a good person. You're a hard worker. You're raising your family. You're doing your stuff. You're doing it right. You're not a piece of shit. And now you're here, and it's really, really difficult for those people to go, you know what, man, I need help. I'm in a bad place. So my problem with what his statement said is I don't think that helps for that narrative. I also don't think that many companies are going to, it doesn't look good for them to go, yeah, totally, yeah, you're gone, resign. Like, usually people would go, I've got a problem, and it's like, okay, well, let's work on it. Like, if this was the 10th time, whatever, but that first one, 61-year-old guy working for Disney, running ESPN, I mean, unless he just wanted to bail,
Yeah,
I
there's
don't know
more to this
why.
story.
There has to be. There has to be. Like, you wouldn't go, you know what, I'm taking some time away. So-and-so's going to step in an interim position. I need to work on some things to get myself healthy. And you'd be an asshole if a company went, too bad, you're fired, loser.
Yeah.
Like, they wouldn't do that. So
Well, there's disability laws that you'd be concerned with, too.
exactly. I'd hire Jay Detroit Cast and I'd sue the pants off him is what I
yeah,
would
the
do.
guys worked really, really hard to get to that point, and it's curious that you just go, fuck it, I'm out. Been struggling with this issue.
And the company agrees it's the right move. Really? I think the company would go, dude, what are you talking about? You've only been here a few years. Let's get you healthy and get back on the horse.
Who knows? Maybe they've
Yeah.
been doing that for 20 or so already.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. There's
Who
more
knows?
to it. More to it.
Yeah.
Hey, Hamlin Pub has an event they want you to know about. Their New Year's Eve bash over at the 25 Mile and Van Dyke location.
This is a great idea, by the way.
Of course.
I like this idea a lot because that's a tough night to go out and party.
Yeah, December 31st, obviously. That would be New Year's Eve, 7 p.m. to 2
Are
a.m.
you sure? I heard they said New Year's Eve. Are you sure it's December 31st?
They're doing it New Year's Eve,
Okay.
yeah. $220 per couple, and that includes a 4-course plated dinner for two with ultimate dessert bar, open bar till 1 a.m., champagne toast and party favors, live entertainment, one-night stay in a deluxe hotel room,
There you
complimentary
go.
breakfast as well, and transportation to and from Hamlin Pub and Hotel. So
There you go.
It
That's actually really
ties it all
reasonable,
up.
dude.
Yeah.
Ties it all up, gives you the whole ball of wax in one amount.
How much was that?
$220.
$220
per
for
couple.
dinner, drinks.
For a couple.
Yeah,
damn.
$220 per couple.
Yeah, that's a great
E,
price.
maybe you and TCG.
Maybe.
Hotel room too.
110 a person.
That's great.
That's very good.
Nicely done, E. How we doing for email, Jay?
We do have some email. Before we get to email proper, however, we've received post.
Oh,
One from Lambeau Field, dude.
Oh, wow.
Isis and Kadog, I believe, sauntered
Yes.
by Lambeau
There's
Field.
an image with the key of the city at Lambeau
Yeah,
Field.
so and that was part of Kadog's argument that it would be quicker to go from Houghton, Michigan through Chicago.
So asinine, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
the
it was
dumbest,
stupid.
I didn't even care. I told him I didn't care. I had nothing to do. I didn't have it.
And
No
the-
reason not to.
The
but
reason, therefore, was he needed to pick up a bike,
He
right?
wanted to
his
get
girlfriend.
Rob on a bike.
Yeah.
Of course, he couldn't just go to a local Schwinn dealership.
No, he had to get some
go.
special bike.
And so Jay and I toyed with the idea of calling said bike shop,
Ordering
and
all the
ordering
bikes.
all of them, reserving all of them, saying that we were part of a peloton, and we went.
So when Kadog walked in to get his bike, I'm
like,
sorry,
oh,
sir,
man.
we sold this for double the price.
Dude,
to-
we've had these for months,
A couple
but-
gentlemen named Jay and Mike. We're very, very sorry about
Yeah,
it.
they came in. They called in and put a deposit down on 15 bikes.
It was an offer we
crazy.
couldn't refuse.
Yeah, yeah.
No, so anyway, they did you guys go in Lambeau?
No,
Or get a tour and
I
all
actually wanted to take a tour, but it was it just time wise it wasn't gonna
Have
work.
you ever been inside Lambeau?
I actually have.
Yeah, I've never.
that? Well,
never
listener Mike has been. He writes in, and here's the fun fact: located in southwest Green Bay, it's surrounded on three sides by the village of Ashwaubenon. Lambeau Field originally was
Ashwaubenon.
Ashwaubenon.
Sure.
It was built on farmland purchased for $73,000. The stadium's original architects, Somerville Inc., favored the current site because it was sloped, making it perfect to build the bowl.
No offense to our Asian listeners. We did not. Jay's just reading it verbatim.
I've just
right off the card.
you know,
Yeah.
Editorialize. Built in 1957, seating capacity has expanded over the years from 32,150 to its current 81,435.
That started at capacity 32,000.
Yeah,
Wow.
32,150. Instigator, tolerator, and pedophile.
Wait.
Instigator, I'll take instigator. Tolerator and pedophile.
I'll take
Gents,
tolerator, I suppose. but-
greetings from Wisconsin, where I finally found a card with a fun fact already on it. Okay, about the greeting. I've been noticing that Walters keeps making more and more comments about pedophiles. Something we need to know?
Wait, in what?
Did it all start with the blue bikini, Mike wonders?
Maybe.
Bye for now, B-U-I.
Dude, we still have not been able to get an official date of DOB on her.
we
just-
did.
No,
we got
have
his
not
official
carded her.
Dude, somebody
It's a
investigated
flash,
that.
dude. I just saw a blue butt.
They found this girl on Facebook
Right.
and were able to
She was
calculate that she
definitely,
was
like,
in high
15,
school
right.
and she was like at least between. So I think they drilled down and even figured out it was between sophomore and senior year. So then
There's
you were
no
able
way
to-
she was 18. She was like 15, dude.
Dude, you know what? Shame on you guys and shame on the listeners, too. That's bullshit. Make one inaccurate call on the fly about a delicious-looking can and a blue bikini at the beach, and nobody lets you live it down.
He's
You're
standing
shamed
by the
forever.
deliciousness of
Think back
that
to-
can.
just
He's
think
standing
back-
by it,
I
even
just-
knowing that she's
dude,
15.
To think back to it, I just remember remember the video was kind of boring. This is what it was. The video was kind
No,
of
it
boring.
wasn't.
Yes.
Wasn't it the shark being dragged back into the
Yeah,
water?
No, but the
somebody's
video was
dragging like a
boring.
3-foot shark back in the ocean so this predator can go kill people.
No, it
Thanks,
was
guys,
boring
for giving
because
me a
I was kind of
hand.
going like, and Mike said, "Don't worry, Eric.
Hold
Don't worry,
on.
E. Get
Don't
ready.
worry,
This is
don't
going to
worry."
be worth it for you in a little bit."
And then it shows the blue bikini, and E and I look at each other like, that chick, that is not an adult.
We don't
That is
know
not
that.
an
We
adult.
just don't know that. We just don't know. But I don't like this. You know, it makes me nervous about taking a risk, taking a step out onto the ledge when every time I try, whether it's a fister joke in front of a class of second graders that no one will let you live
Inappropriate.
down, or, you know, blue butt, gorgeous looking blue can in the blue bikini, you know, and I misjudged apparently. We don't know for sure, but it looks like I may have, and I can't live it down. It's bullshit. Was a
James,
nice ass, though, wasn't it, E?
No comment.
She's like 18 now. That was a couple of years ago.
No comment.
James writes in, Ricky, Steven, and Carl.
Hold
Oh,
on.
that's from Idiot Abroad. Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Carl.
That's pretty
I'll
good,
take
actually.
Ricky or Steven.
I've got Ricky, obviously, the fat one. You're Steven, the tall one. And, well,
There's
obviously, there's Carl.
Carl.
I believe Carl's bald, too.
You guys mentioned the rated Xmas songs again, and I just got to say that I'm with Jay here. Those songs ran their course years ago. Please don't play them on air. We know where we can find them anyways. I'd like to suggest a new Christmas album for you guys to review. It's called
Loves
Sledding
to
Hill,
stick
a
to-
holiday album by the metal band
Stuff
August
up his
Burns
rectum.
Red. Christmas
But
music
do you
sucks.
recall the most limp-wristed reindeer of all, Rudolph the deep-throat faggot. La-da-da-da-da-da-da.
This album at least adds some thrashing guitars and double bass. You'll have to explain drum lingo to E to the mix.
I play the drums.
Play the drum. My name's Ringo, and I play the drums.
My
By the end
name's-
of the album, you'll realize that Christmas music still sucks, but at least we got some fucking metal out of it. Thoughts and prayers, James. That's distinctly different than Nate's email to us. President Johnson, President Taft, and President Trump. I'll take Johnson.
I wanted to be Johnson.
You're obviously Taft.
No
You're
shit.
portly.
Isn't Taft bespectacled, too?
Maybe.
We're
He was
bespectacled.
definitely portly.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, why are we letting Jay and his questionable preferences keep the dirty Christmas songs off the podcast?
I know, it's bullshit.
Those songs are a tradition in Metro Detroit, and we should not be denied the shared listening experience just because Jay has declared them low-hanging fruit. Mm-hmm. We have
He
to keep
has.
in mind that this is a man who's been known to extol the virtues of shitty things like soccer, exercise, life burdens, parades, Lady Gaga, marching
Mm-hmm.
bands, and monogamy.
Kale.
I agree.
Monogamy.
Monogamy is the worst out of all of those. I agree.
Yeah.
Pair that with the fact that he seemingly finds every woman in the world to be unattractive, and you see that his
True.
judgment is most certainly suspect. Don't let him deny the audience our stuff the whole thing in your face moment.
What did you say 99% of the audience was going to know?
Captain
Queeging it? Captain Queeg,
Queeging it.
yes,
The whole
yes.
Shuffling of the
Very,
balls.
yeah, very, very, set, like you knew.
I misjudged that
Knew.
one.
Here's the problem, folks. I agree. Usually I would just go, fuck him, whatever, I'm playing it. But you don't understand the deal that I have to go. The last 3 years that I've done that, as soon as we go off the air, he holds on to it. It's like, those fucking songs suck.
They drive me nuts,
They
dude.
fucking
They're
suck,
so
dude.
bad.
They're just trash, and it makes
There's
us look like trash. And I'm like,
nothing clever
dude.
about it. It's
what
just-
about I saw
Yeah,
Mommy
let's-
fucking Santa Claus?
let's string
you got to
together-
admit, Mommy fucking
Let's
Santa
string
Claus
together
is
like
decent.
3 swear words and then make a rhyme at the end.
What about Frosty the Pervert? That one's at least good, right? Frosty the Pervert. No. Something about his slush and balls. He comes slush or something. I think that one's at least decent. No? I saw Mommy fucking Santa Claus.
Jay writes in. Is the inference? Oh, this is the doll morals issue. So we were presented with the conundrum last night.
This might have been my favorite email of the year.
Really?
I thought it was one of those that I'm like,
Thought-provoking.
people are going to be discussing this outside of this room.
Yeah.
That is a discussion waiting to happen with your family, your wife.
And of course, the listener wrote in and said, "Look, my wife's about to return these 2 dolls that she received. She ordered 2 dolls. She thought they were white ones, and they turned out she mistakenly ordered African American ones. So she's going to return them, and I think she's racist. Is she racist?" And so
Yeah.
we discussed. Now,
Beth took your side, by the way, and agreed that a doll to a little girl can be seen as like almost her offspring for the play aspect of it. And so Beth said, I don't necessarily think that would be racist to return that
No.
and want your daughter, to whatever.
I mean,
Okay.
to me, I thought about it a little more too, and I think one of you brought up the best point too is, dude, it's just not what I ordered. Like I ordered a red Corvette, a green one came. The green one's cool, but I wanted the red one.
But it's not as good. I don't want it eating at the same table as I don't want it parked in the same parking lot as the red one. It's great. It's
Don't want
fine.
it taking my daughter out on a date.
It's the same.
Separate, but equal. Separate.
Yeah, it's totally equal, but I just want it not to share
It's
a
not
fucking
red,
bathroom with
it's
me.
green. it's green.
You know what I mean? Like
I want it
red
red.
lot over here, green lot, stay in your fucking lane, folks. Over there. But it's
Jay-
just as good.
Jay writes in concerning this issue: is the inference that just returning them is racist, or that act of returning it to a store person and having to give the reason, like saying it aloud, or was it bought online, returning online? I think it was bought online. Either way, just take it back and say, I bought these for an African American girl and she didn't want them. She wanted white ones. You got to pin it on something. Pin it on that. The kid.
Yeah,
Good point, Jay.
I think when you're pegging her, whether she's a racist or not, I think it totally depends on when that Amazon box arrived and when she first opened it up. What was her reaction? Did she go, "Oh fuck"?
That's what it all comes down to.
Like if she just went, "Oh, that's not what I ordered." God damn it! Can't they get anything right? But if she went, "Oh, gross," who would want those? It's a different thing.
Yeah,
But-
I think we need to reach back to the original listener and say, "Hey, dude,
Yeah.
give us some more detail," because I think that's a great point.
And then wasn't there a blowjob on the line too? I'd like to know if he got it, how it was.
I mean, if he had to be right to get it, I think he didn't get it.
And
Sorry to
based on
say.
this room, I mean,
Yeah, but let's say he did. It's gonna be a less than enthusiastic Beeger, right? I mean, it's
For
gonna be a spiteful Beeger at best,
She's
right?
going to be watching TV
Yeah.
out of the corner
well,
of her.
the thing is,
or
like,
talking like "fuck you, this is bullshit." I was right.
Hurry up, hurry up.
Would you hurry?
how would he have gotten it? Because he thought she was racist. So if we said
We were
that
going
she-
to pass judgment. Like, yeah, that's racist. Then he would have gotten a blowjob.
Yeah.
Okay.
He basically said, "I think you're a racist, and to prove it, I'm going to ask my 3 friends here, and I
Yeah.
guarantee they're going to agree with me."
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, they won't.
He didn't realize how woke we were,
Yeah, exactly.
or non-woke. I'm not sure.
Mm.
We'll save the rest for tomorrow, Mike.
Very good. Why don't we? Do you have a few minutes? Why don't we pop into the members area? I got a bunch of stories here that are pretty good. So why don't we
Let's
grab a
do that.
couple of those and hop in there? Members, we'll see you over there. Everybody else, we'll see you tomorrow when Rude Jude will be here.
Hell yeah.
Excited for that. That'll be fun. He's got a book signing tomorrow as well, December 19th from 7 to 9 at Barnes & Noble's in Rochester Hills on South Rochester Road, and he'll be hanging out with us for a while. We had a lot of fun talking to him about his book, Hummingbird, a few weeks ago, and so look forward to that. Everybody else, thank you for hanging with us. We'll do it again tomorrow. We'll see you then.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.